It's about 6 o'clock. We'll call the meeting of October 24th to order. Would you call a roll, please?
Williams?
Yes.
Hay?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shivers?
Yes.
First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of October 10th regular session.
Move to approve?
Second.
Williams?
Yes.
Hay?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shivers?
Abstain.
At this time, I make a motion to open a public hearing for an additional use permit for Ronald and Betty Salmons to construct a commercial storage unit at 321 Clay Street.
Second.
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Hay?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shivers?
Yes.
Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. City Code requires that council conduct a public hearing and then make certain determinations as to whether anyone can construct a commercial storage unit. Therefore, we have a request to do so, and to cover the details of this request, Rita Jackson.
Good evening, Council. This public hearing concerns a request from Ronald and Betty Salmons, owner of Car Corner, for an additional use permit intended to construct a commercial storage unit on their property located at 321 Clay Street, Lot 11. This address is comprised of 3 lots, and currently on 2 of them, lots 9 and 10, there are already storage units. This property is located on the northwest corner of Clay Street between Olive Street to the west and South Clark to the east. Currently, this property is zoned C2 General Commercial. Article 11, Additional Use Regulation, states the following building and usage shall be permitted in various districts pursuant to permit first by City Council in conformity with sections 42-681 through 42-683, which number 14 is commercial storage units. Section 42-681 of the City Code states each such application by the city is reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission for investigation and report as to the effect such building or use upon traffic and fire hazard, the character of the neighborhood, and the general welfare of the community. A report and recommendation shall be filed with City Council. Notices were sent to 20 surrounding property owners within 300 feet of the requested additional use permit. City staff received no written or verbal communication regarding the request. On October 4th, 2022, Planning and Zoning Commission met to consider this request and make recommendation of approval to City Council. The minutes of that meeting are attached. City Code requires that City Council conduct a public hearing to make a determination of whether the applied for use will, number 1, substantially increase traffic hazard or congestion, number 2, substantially increase fire hazards, number 3, adversely affect the character of the neighborhood, number 4, adversely affect the general welfare of the community, or number 5, overtax public utilities. If council findings are negative to all of the above, then motion to be made to grant the request. If the findings are affirmative as to any of the above, then the permit shall be denied. Approval or denial of this permit is done in the form of a motion. City staff recommends City Council consider the advertised public hearing and make a motion to approve or deny the additional use permit request by Ronald and Betty Salmons to construct a commercial storage unit on their property located at 321 Clay Street. And in the audience, we do have Betty and Ron Salmons.
Any questions from?
Yeah, I got one. So break it down, like, I guess I'm confused because there's storage units all over that place. So why do we have to do something different for this one? I mean, because you want to build the same thing, correct?
In 2015, city code changed. Previously, actually, storage units could go in any zoning district. Around 2015, the city staff started receiving complaints and different concerns regarding storage units in neighborhoods where lights at night, additional traffic, and noise. So city staff looked at it, at the request, and then came back and put it under additional use where it actually goes to actually look at storage units. And if you go back and look, lots of the previous storage units that we had, they were already grandfathered into some of those neighborhoods.
What year was that? I didn't hear you.
2015.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Council? This is a public hearing. If anybody would like to make a comment, please come to the podium, state your name and address. Try to hold your comments to 3 minutes. Ron?
Let's see, guys, my words for wisdom today is, we all know how much money we got in our bank accounts, right? But we don't know how much time we got left. And I promise you, after this building's up, the city will be receiving income next year about this time, taxes on that new building. But I just hope and pray that I can see a return on my investment what time I've got left in my life. So
We're the same age, Ron, I understand that. Yay, class of 67, huh? No.
Mayor, I need an address.
Yes, we need an address, Ron, sorry. We need an address for you when you speak. What's your address? We need your address.
my home address,
Yes, sir.
2383 Park Crest.
2383 Park Crest. Sorry, I missed that.
Can we just close
It's off a little louder, I'm hard hearing.
Any other public comments? If not, I need a motion to close the hearing.
so moved?
Second.
We have to make a motion before we close the hearing. This is different.
We're moving to close it.
You can do, you'll end up needing the motion, so whether you want to make it now or close the hearing and then make the motion, that's up to you, Council.
Up to you. We have to vote on this.
I make a motion to approve the storage units at 321 Clay Street.
Second. Can I add,
Yeah.
to make sure we're clear on the motion, that council, you do not find any of these things exist, therefore you make the motion to approve.
I make a motion that we do not find any of the issues brought to our attention exist, and therefore I make a motion that we approve the storage unit building at 321 Clay Street.
Second. Thank you.
Marcy, do I need to withdraw what I said? Just for the record. Do I need to, I don't know if you heard me when I made the motion. Okay, never mind.
I'm sorry. Roll call. Williams?
Yes.
Hay?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shivers?
Yes.
Now I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion.
To close the public hearing.
Second.
Williams?
Yes.
Hay?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shivers?
Yes.
Under new business, Bill number 2022-58, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri, renaming Garfield Park to Teron Lou Park. 2 readings by title only and passage. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. As council knows, we held the public hearing regarding this request at the last meeting on October 10th. At that meeting, the park board did recommend approval, and a number of local citizens did submit support also for the naming change from Garfield Park to Teron Lou Park. Upon the 14-day additional waiting period, no additional comments or objections have been received. Therefore, staff recommends council proceed with 2 readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance, renaming Garfield Park to Teron Lou Park, and the ordinance has been posted its required length of time.
I'll move for first reading of bill number 2022-58.
Second.
Williams?
Yes.
Hay?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Shivers?
Yes. Bill number 2022-58, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri, renaming Garfield Park to Teron Lou Park. I'll move for second reading of bill number 2022-58.
Second.
Williams?
Yes.
Hay? Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes. Bill number 2022-58, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Mexico, Missouri, renaming Garfield Park Tehran Lou Park. I move for passage of Bill number 2022-58.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Next bill is Bill 2022-59, an ordinance calling for the establishment and filing dates for the municipal general election to be held in 2023 to fill 2 3-year terms on the Mexico City Council. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor. This ordinance sets the dates for the 2023 municipal general election. It establishes the time period for candidate filing. Statements of candidacy will be received by the city clerk starting on Tuesday, December 6th, and run through Tuesday, December 27th. And then the municipal election will be held then on Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. In order to proceed with the mechanics of accepting the statements of candidacy and establishing the election dates, staff recommends council proceed with 2 readings by title only and passage of the attached ordinance, and this ordinance has also been posted its required length of time.
I move for first reading of Bill 2022-59.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Bill 2022-59, ordinance calling for the establishing the filing dates for the municipal general election to be held in 2023 to fill 2 3-year terms on the Mexico, Missouri City Council. I move for second reading of Bill 2022-59.
Second.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Bill 2022-59, ordinance calling for and establishing the filing dates for the municipal general election to be held in 2023 to fill 2 3-year terms on the Mexico, Missouri City Council. I move for passage of Bill number 2022-59.
Second.
Williams,
Yes.
Hay,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Next item C, Bill number 2022-60, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 13 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City of Mexico City Code. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor. We received a request from the developer of the property that is building residential lots in this area, and brought the issue of traffic congestion to us and ability to get vehicles in and out of that area, and asked for us to consider a parking restriction. And therefore, staff has reviewed this and researched it and ready to make a recommendation, and to do so, Drew Wilford.
Good evening, Council. As Bruce mentioned, whenever we receive these, we do conduct a review. The Engineering Division looks at a number of items which vary from on-site geometry to crash history to getting input from public safety and from the neighborhood. In this particular case, we split this up into 2 sections, as you can see on your map before you. The review we showed did show sufficient clearance for emergency vehicles and for emergency access along the straight portion there, if you want to call it that, of Savannah Court. However, in that curve to the west, there is insufficient movement, and that's due to the turning movement. So we are recommending to proceed with a permanent no parking restriction on the west side of the street for a 150-foot length along that curve, and that is what you'll find in the amendment for essentially Schedule 13, no parking at any time, and that will be labeled Section quadruple R. And then the second part of this is actually a review of that section in red to the south of the curve. And we found, with this being under development, and there's quite a number of locations, parcels being developed, it does merit at least a temporary no parking restriction in that area, but it does not merit a permanent no parking restriction. So what we are recommending to council is that we would enact a no parking restriction along that west side of Savannah Court, and then in 1 year, re-look at this so that no later than November 1st, we would have a recommendation to you whether to extend out the no parking or to remove the no parking from the schedules. But this does go into our traffic schedules, thus it cannot have an automatic end of 1 year from now. So it will take an act of the council to either extend it or remove it per se. We have sent out letters to the residents. We've received this letter before you was written at a point in time when we had received one response. We've now received two. Both were in positive favor of restricting parking on the west side, though there was some discussion about would there be sufficient parking remaining on the east side given the frequency and density of the parking, the driveways, excuse me. We believe that there is, and so we are recommending to proceed with 2 readings by title only, the attached resolution, which will authorize creation of 2 different no parking zones along Savannah Court. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So I'm assuming that west of Savannah Court, they're going to eventually want to put houses.
Right.
They're already going
They're
up,
already
Steve.
going up.
Okay, so,
That picture is
They're under
dated.
roof.
That's an old picture.
what?
Yes, I do apologize. That picture dates back to 2019, May.
Okay, so then where the red line is, we're going to put a temporary no parking restriction and come back and revisit it.
Yeah.
Eventually, there's a house there, you're not going to be able to park in front of your house.
That could happen based on how they line the houses, yes.
So a no car can get down through there if 2 cars are parked on, if one's parked on the east side and one's parked on the west, or no emergency vehicle can get down through there?
Emergency vehicle, well, in the straight section, you could. In the section that is marked in red, it has sufficient clearance for an emergency vehicle at this time, but with heavier construction vehicles, we do recognize that this is a temporary time period, and we would recommend proceeding with a no parking zone during that temporary time period. Once construction is majority completed, also the developer is looking at extending that street to curve back around and intersect Curtis Street, so there will be an alternate ingress-egress point. When you have those happen, that changes the dynamics of the road to the point where we would recommend removing the temporary no parking restriction. But on the north end, there is insufficient clearance. I can barely get my city truck through there.
Something like that.
And that won't be widened anymore. It's just going to remain that way. Is that the way the
It's already
street
built,
is?
yeah.
It's already built and will remain at that width. The roadway itself is a standard width, so that's a positive going forward.
So the people on the east side that already live there, of course, they're fine with it. They're not, the people that are moving in, they might not be so fine with it.
Well, the houses
But that's
right now are
temporary.
being built on the north and south side of
Right.
of Sierra. They're not being built against the red.
No, they're not, okay.
If they think that's tight, I'll take them down Jefferson Street.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt, we have other areas of town.
Yeah, I get
More
it.
questions? Charles, pleasure.
I make a motion to read bill number 2022-60.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Bill number 2022-60, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 13 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for second reading on bill number 2022-60.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Bill number 2022-60, an ordinance amending Chapter 38, Article 10, Schedule 13 of the Traffic and Vehicle Schedule of the Mexico City Code. I move for passage of bill number 2022-60.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Bill number 2022-61, an ordinance accepting the Transportation Alternative Program TAP grant awarded from the Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission and authorizing the city manager to sign agreement documents pertinent to this award. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. As council knows, we did apply for a grant to extend portions or rebuild portions of the sidewalk along Muldrow Street. We have received that grant, and to cover the details of the grant and the project area, Drew Wilford.
council may recall, this is an extension of the grant which we had received a number of years ago. Well, I should say probably about 3 years ago, perhaps, at this point in time. And as part of the process, MoDOT requires an ordinance be passed in support of the grant to move forward further, with signing their program agreement. We actually now have the program agreement in hand at the time of writing and compiling this document. I apologize, we did not have it in hand. We received it this afternoon. The program agreement allows us to proceed with bidding out work and proceed with getting a design in. This project will extend sidewalk on the west side of Muldrow, starting at Quisenberry, which is where we left off on the prior project, and will continue it south to Buchanan Street. That is a grant where it's a local cost share agreement. We supply 25% and are reimbursed for the remainder. So the total project cost is $241,000, a little over that, with the city's share being a bit over $60,000. The budget does provide for this number in the 2022-23 fiscal year, so we're recommending we proceed by 2 readings, title only, and passage of the attached ordinance authorizing the city manager to both accept the award and also sign any program agreements or other documents pertinent to this award. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Can you go a little further north towards the bridge and throw some in those holes, some concrete in those holes when we build it?
On Muldrow?
Yeah.
I thought they were rebuilding Muldrow.
It is being scoped. That's somewhat in a fluid process at the moment. I don't know the exact state of it per se. I know that they have discussed various options with the city, and I've heard different dates thrown out. I believe it's in their STIP, which is a commitment to it, but I could be wrong on that. I'd have to take a look, but there's been discussion.
I just thought the sidewalks was part of that. That's one of the reasons they wanted to do the sidewalks was because they wanted to redo the road. So.
No doubt, it helps. Anytime you're redoing the road, you don't have to deal with the sidewalks.
Right.
I move for first reading Bill 2022-61.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Bill 2022-61, an ordinance accepting the Transportation Alternatives Program TAP grant award from the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission and authorizing the city manager to sign agreement documents pertinent to this award. I move for second reading of 2022-61.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Bill 2022-61, an ordinance accepting the Transportation Alternatives Program TAP grant award from the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission and authorizing the city manager to sign agreement documents pertinent to this award. I move for passage of Bill 2022-61.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Next item, under resolutions, Bill number 2022-62, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a task order amendment number 6 with Engineering Surveys and Services LLC for the preliminary water quality analysis at Kiwanis Lake. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Council, I think as you're aware that we've had a number of water quality issues at Kiwanis Lake with the filling in and the growth of and everything else on there. And we've tried a number of things and not much success. So we're looking at a different approach here. And to cover that, what we're looking at here, Chad Shoemaker.
Good evening. As the council's aware, we received a grant from the Alan P. and Josephine B. Green Foundation through the Park Foundation to hire an engineering firm to look at the nutrient issues and the siltation issues at Kiwanis Lake that are causing the problems with the vegetation in that lake. We finished the first phase of that. They ran automated collection systems all late winter through the summer, into the fall. Now they have all that data. This next task order is for evaluating all that data and coming back to us with some recommendations as to what we need to do and how long various fixes would, give us to remediate the problem, whether it needs to be dredged, whether we need to add additional equipment, whether we have to bypass some stormwater. As you can see from the task order, they've got quite a bit of different things in there. And so, this is just the beginning of the spending on this lake for us to fix it. Just to warn you, this won't fix this lake, but this should tell us how to.
Questions?
Does the Department of Conservation not do stuff like that? Look at that and help out in situations like that for
No, they
vegetation?
do not have engineering services for this kind of work.
Pleasure of the board.
I move for reading of bill number 2022-62.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes. Bill number 2022-62, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign task order amendment number 6 with Engineering Surveys and Services LLC for the preliminary water quality analysis at Kiwanis Lake. I move for passage of bill number 2022-62.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Okay, bill number 2022-63, a resolution authorizing city manager to sign contract documents with Van Deventer Engineering Company for preventative maintenance work on wastewater equipment. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor, we have a number of motors and pumps and blowers and general equipment throughout the wastewater system, and in order to make sure we are looking at maintaining it and doing preventative maintenance, we've worked with this company before, and this is the next phase of their contract, a renewal. And to cover the details, Drew Williford.
As Bruce mentioned, this contract is actually for both our wastewater treatment plant and our collection system. We maintain a number of pumps, 15 pump stations throughout the collection system. Many of those have 2 pumps in them, and a number of pumps at our plant as well. This particular preventative maintenance agreement allows us to supplement city forces. We also do perform preventative maintenance, but allows us to supplement our forces with, in essence, an 11-point inspection on a number of wastewater equipment. The company is Van Deventer Engineering out of Fenton, Missouri. They have worked with the City of Mexico since about 2015, and we've been happy with their work. They do a very good job. This provides us a report on any kind of upcoming projects that we need to schedule for pump replacement or pump repair. And you'll see one of those actually later this evening. And for this contract, it's a 3-year agreement with the first 2 years being at a cost of $9,773, and then the third year being $10,234. Our professional services line item in the wastewater budget does supply $69,550 for projects such as this, where we have a professional company come in to handle work like this for us. So we would recommend with proceeding by reading in title only and passage of the attached resolution. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
This is kind of, I guess, did we get our conveyor belt fixed? That we?
Not fixed, but we've got the parts, so we're getting there.
Good deal.
Yep.
All right.
Move for reading of bill number 2022-63.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Bill number 2022-63, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign contract documents with Van Deventer Engineering Company for preventative maintenance work on wastewater equipment. I move for passage of bill number 2022-63.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Next is Bill Number 2022-64, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Help Center to offset operational costs related to providing services to citizens. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor, this is an annual contract that we enter into with the Help Center. And to cover the details of the contract, Roger Haynes.
Good evening, Council. The 22-23 budget does allow the City of Mexico to contribute to the Health Center the sum of $5,000 for the use and the offset of operational costs related to providing programs, activities, and services to citizens. The city has provided assistance to the Help Center in 2004, 2009, 2010, 2011 in the amount of $5,000. In 2012, Council approved to increase the level of support to the Help Center to $10,000 based on the need for additional assistance. Council approved the level of funding to return back to $5,000 in 2017. Jolene Rogers, Executive Director of the Health Center, is here this evening. She has provided a written narrative outlining programs provided throughout the year for Council's review. She would like to have a moment to come up to the podium and speak. Staff does recommend that Council proceed with reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Health Center.
Okay. Jolene?
I move for...
We have a speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr.
Good evening. My name is Jolene Rogers. I am the new Executive Director of the Help Center. Philip retired after 6 years. So I want to thank you guys for your continued support. This past month, we had close to 1,400 families that came and visit us. That's almost 4,000 people. That's quite a few. And each month, we see more and more. So your all's donation is greatly appreciated in so many ways. We're running at about a $40,000 deficit for the year so far, and that number is just continuing to rise. So we appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Okay, thank you. Pleasure.
I move the first reading of Bill Number 2022-64.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Bill Number 2022-64, resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Help Center to offset operational costs related to providing services to citizens. I move for passage.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Next item is Bill Number 2022-65, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute agreements with various organizations for recommended funding from the Mexico tourism tax. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. The Tourism Commission has met, reviewed applications, and has recommendations for funding. To cover those recommendations, Roger Haynes.
The Mexico Tourism Commission met via Zoom on Tuesday, October 18th. And as part of that meeting, we reviewed 3 applications for tourism funding. The first organization requesting funding was the Village Square Association of Mexico for the event they named Holiday Activities that will be held in November and December in the downtown area. The amount they requested for funding for advertising was $1,000, and the amount recommended by the commission is $1,000. The second organization, Presser Arts Center, we were holding a winter production event called Sister Act, and that will be held during 2 weekends, December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and December 9th, 10th, and 11th. They requested for advertising $3,000, and the amount recommended is $1,600. And that amount recommended is what was totaled on their application for cost of advertising. The third organization was the Mexico Area Chamber of Commerce for the event, the KC Southern Holiday Express Christmas Parade / Christmas Parade. Some may know that also as the Santa train on the KC Southern Holiday Express. They requested $1,500 for advertising purposes, and the amount recommended was $1,498, and that figure is the sum of the items they listed for advertising cost in their applications. Staff recommends that council concur with the Mexico Tourism Commission's recommendation and proceed with reading by title only and passage That'd be a passed resolution.
For first reading of bill number 2022-65.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes. Bill number 2022-65, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute agreements with various organizations for recommended funding from the Mexico tourism tax. Move for passage of bill number 2022-65.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Next item under 7, staff reports, repairs to various wastewater pump stations by Van Devanter Engineering Company. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor. As mentioned earlier, under the current contract, before we renewed it, we had an inspection from Van Devanter Engineering to do, needed some repairs at some pump stations, and to cover the details of their recommendations, Drew Wilford.
As Bruce mentioned, we've had Van Devanter conduct work here this year, and they came across 2 items which totaled over $10,000, just barely, I might add, but both impact pump stations. One is at the wastewater treatment plant. That's our influent pump station. We are a mechanical plant, so we're driven by pumps. And the other being at a lift station out in our collection system at Huntingfield. So those 2 have pump issues that require work totaling a little over $10,000. Our repairs, other equipment line item does have budgeted $90,000 for this year for these kinds of repairs. So we would recommend council approve the proposed repairs to various pump stations for the wastewater division, Van Devanter Engineering, for total estimated price here of $10,063.
I move to approve the repairs to various wastewater pump stations by Van Devanter Engineering Company for the estimated amount of $10,063.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Staff report, emergency repair work to the industrial railroad spur. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor, we have an agreement with M&K Rail Construction that the city does in order to perform rail inspections on the city's line that's in the industrial park, and they have identified some urgent needs as far as defects to be fixed to cover the estimated cost to do so, and what they're recommending. Drew Williford.
Council, I met with M&K Rail. We walked the rail spur that you see on the screen before you. It's outlined in red, at least approximately, on October 5th. And they did pick out a number of items which certainly appear as urgent defects. So as such, we would propose to move forward in fixing the items which are identified as urgent defects, and then they provided us a list of, a short list here, but albeit a list of other items that we can schedule for repairs at a later time. Thus far, M&K has been good to work with. We have executed a contract service agreement with them for on-call services, as we had done in the prior council meeting. And as such, we'd recommend approving the emergency repair work for an estimated price of $35,862.13. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Charles, pleasure.
I gotta go back to it.
I make a motion to allow the emergency repair work to the industrial railroad spur.
Second.
Second, okay.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Next item, staff report, purchase of firearms for Department of Public Safety. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor, it has come time to, once again, to replace the firearms within the Public Safety Department. We've taken bids and for this budget year, and to review those, Chief Rocket.
The current budget allows for a little over $29,000 for an upgrade of firearms. That's us switching from the Glock 45 calibers that we have now to the Glock 35, which is a 9mm firearm. And we have received two bids. One was a complete and total bid, and one was not. And the amount that comes in on that with the trade-in, so we'd be trading in all the 34 guns that we own now, $11,621. That's with the night sights, the holsters, the magazines, and the trade-in.
Just got to know, what do they do with trade-ins? Put
What do
them out-
they do with trade-ins?
They come out on the street later?
So you're going down in size, right, of gun?
We are changing calibers, yes.
Reason?
The 45s are a little bit big for some hands that we have right now, and also the availability of 9mm ammunition as opposed to 45.
That's important. Still hard to get guns?
And ammunition.
A motion to purchase the firearms from GT Distributors Incorporated out of Pflugerville, Texas.
Pflugerville, the P is silent.
Pflugerville, Texas, in the amount of $11,621.25.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Next item, staff reports, the purchase of a self-propelled lift for the forestry department. Mr. Slagle.
Yes, Your Honor. As council might remember, last year we tried to make this purchase, and after a couple of attempts, and where we actually did have a contract, but they were unable to fulfill the contract due to the availability of the equipment. Therefore, we'll take another attempt here, and we've looked at how we can try to stay in budget by actually looking at used equipment. And to cover the details of what we're proposing, Chad Shoemaker.
If the council recall, originally we wanted a piece of used equipment, and after all the supply chain issues during COVID, there was no used equipment available because there were no new units being delivered anywhere. Now new units are being delivered again at a much higher price, and there is pretty much a glut of the used equipment, so we're going to stand to benefit a little bit from having to go back into the used market at this point. So as you can see, the original budget, we budgeted $95,000 for a piece of used equipment. You can see the pricing before you. We think we can get it done for $85,000 and less currently. That would be a machine probably no older than 2014, 2015, and will probably lean towards lower hours rather than newer model date. Any questions?
So we haven't picked it out yet, we're just gonna...
No, we need authorization to... The way this kind of equipment sells is we pretty much have to go to market with authorization, because if we come to you with a piece, it might not be available 2 weeks later.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I move for the purchase of the used self-propelled lift for the forestry department. I guess at the Parks Department. Forestry Department's discretion.
Price not to exceed.
Price not to exceed
$85,000.
$85,000.
Correct. Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Next item is payment of the claims.
I move to pay the bills.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Hay.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Next are comments. We'll begin with the council. Begin with Mr. Hague.
Well, I'm glad to see a lot of people here again tonight, so we must be becoming more popular, but I do that. I think it was a good thing for the name change. I just stress, number one, to these young people that this older generation continues to teach them about Garfield schools and Garfield Park and the history of Mexico and that school, and then I stress that they learn about, Coach Lou. I know that we see him as a head basketball coach and very successful, and he gives back to our community, and we're blessed, but that takes a lot of hard work. What he did, it takes a lot of hard work to go play college basketball. It takes a lot of hard work to get grades to go to a university. university. It takes a lot of hard work to go to the MBA. It takes a lot of hard work to get a coaching job, just be on a staff and become a head coach. And I think those are the lessons that this youth needs to learn. And hopefully someone else can get the success that he did and come back and support the community like he does. So there's a great name change. I know he does a lot of great things. And so I know as a board we're honored to be able to pass that. Congratulations to the Quiz Bowl. I know Councilman Williams' son knocked it out of the park, and so I credit that to he was in my class, so he learned a lot and did that. So it's a fun time. If you ever get to go to the Quiz Bowl or help out, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty laid back. Don't ever do the reading because they pronounce stuff that you will never be able to pronounce. So, and I think Dr. Shivers, good luck. I don't think we'll have a council meeting before the election, correct? So good luck to you and with that, and so wish you the best, and that's all I have.
Next hour. No.
Next hour. I thought what Coach Haig said was spot on, and I think that is the lesson for our youth, and I see it all the time as we live in a society now where they want instant gratification for what they do, and that's just not how the world works. And if they look at everything that Lou put in to get where he's at, that didn't happen overnight. He didn't go play basketball today and he's suddenly a coach tomorrow. I mean, he worked hard, and I think you just hit it right on the head. It's about hard work, and I hope that the kids of today look at that and understand that. And I will also ditto good luck to you in your election.
Mrs. Briggs.
See you.
Well, I ditto all of that, and but I also would like to say that we had all the MMA parents here. I don't know if you saw them all over in town tonight, but we had a huge in the last few days. But they were here. They're from all over the world. I don't know if you ever get an opportunity to talk to any of them, but they are delightful people. So they are welcome, and congratulations, Ian. We can count on you.
Dr. Shivers.
I don't think there's anything left for me to say. I was excited to see that the name change of the park, and I ditto, that we all can, I think, learn from what Coach Lou has done, not only, like you said, his hard work, but also his philanthropic efforts in the community and just giving back and not forgetting Mexico. And so, ditto, and congratulations to the Quiz Bowl. They didn't have that when I was in school. I probably would have been really bad at it, but it's great. I was going to think, well, maybe he got it from his dad or mom or someone.
I can't pronounce some of the stuff. What are you talking about? They had me reading. He's right. Don't do that job.
Mr. Slagle.
I would just comment, Commerce and Industry Dinner tomorrow night. They are honoring one of our own local, Meyer Trucking, Randy Meyer, and we congratulate him and thank him for what he's done for our community.
Okay. Gosh, everybody's already said everything, and you got a hold of Randy Myers, and I get to get a hold of him tomorrow night, so I'm pretty excited about that. And other than that, we're now open to the public. If you'd like to make a public comment, please come to the podium, state your name and address, try to hold your comment for 3 minutes. Seeing nobody come forward, I move we adjourn into executive session pursuant to Revised Statute of Missouri 610-021, real estate matters.
Second.
Williams.
Yes.
Haig.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.